Alright, back at it again. Just a minor repair, but I've decided that every time I do something on this car, I'm going to take a video of it. This is just the back seat has been removed, and you can probably see that. It's very simple to take out the back seat. It's already out, obviously. You lift up the back of the seat where it joins the bottom of the seat in the back, where it's tucked underneath the top part of the seat, which is already out. You pull up on the back, and in the front here you got these two clips, and there's a U-shaped metal piece that just snaps straight down. So when you pull up the back of the seat and it comes loose in the bottom seat, the back of it, you pull these clips straight up. You pull the seat straight up and it pops out of these clips. Then here you have a bolt here. It's probably too bright. The bolt here and a bolt on the other side, and it's actually holding the seat belt in. You take these two bolts off. They're just the nuts on it. Actually, two nuts off. There's 11/16, and on the top here you have 3 clips. When you take these two bolts off, the seat lifts straight up. Okay, that's the back of the seat. Now, on this side panel, as usual, whoever did work on this car, they lift out like half the screws all the time. There's you can see these pins underneath here. This one I noticed wasn't in. A few of them weren't in. Some of the screws are missing. There's a screw under this trim piece here. There's no screw there. It's supposed to be a screw, but I'm probably going to leave that out because it doesn't rattle and it's in there tight anyway. But there's 3 pins that hold this in. There's 4 speaker screws, and there's 2 other screws that hold this panel in right next to the speakers. There's one on the top. You can probably see that. This one right here. Okay. It's only the inner one you have to take out. There's 2 screws on the top. You only got to take this one out. Right here. Right there. Okay. And then there's one over here. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. And then this comes out. Now this window was in here, so it wasn't sealing up right. So there's a couple adjustment screws, but I want to point out while you're doing this, you got these tracks in here, and I sprayed some white grease on the tracks because a lot of times power windows work a little slow. It's not just because of the motors, because they're getting gummed up. But there's a couple of, let me raise the window on this. There's just a couple screws here that slide the window back and forth and up and down so it seals up along the weather stripping correctly. So I just figured I'll probably piece this together with something else because it's a very small video. And here, as you can see, just a shot of the hydraulics on the top. Okay, and that's just a speaker wire that's right here, and I guess that's about it. So there's really nothing to this, but it was just a pain that this thing wasn't sealed up right. And I took a look at it, and as usual, people leave out screws. I'm going to put the screws back in though and line up these pins so this thing buttons up correctly. But just a couple adjustment screws. But something else I wanted to point out, that if the windows are working slow, a lot of times you can just put some white grease on the tracks and they'll work a lot better. Alright, so anytime I do something on this thing, I'm just gonna make a little video of it, so maybe you just see what the hell's going on underneath. This is just below the panel. You can see the convertible top. Alright, okay, thank you. This is the window after it's lined up. You can see it's got really good alignment now. I just had to move it forward, and basically, like everything, whoever worked on this car prior, there was nuts and bolts missing and screws and things like that, and things weren't clipped into place, but they're all done now, right? I wanted to point out something. This weather stripping here, this is actually I think it's $214 from a dealer. It's the only place you could buy it, or else you get used ones that probably aren't going to last that long. This was split. And what I used on this was a rubber boot bandage, which is this. It's available from rubberbootbandage.com. It's the only product this guy sells. It's for concrete boot repair, and it's very strong. It lasts for a long time. It's got a very good adhesive on it. And it's the perfect thing for repairing some kind of weather stripping you might have in this car that's hard to find because they're not old enough yet. They're not in the range where they're considered classics and they're making aftermarket parts for them. But these type of cars are, this Generation 1 Sebring from 1996 to 2000 is actually probably a lot better because of the trunk space than the 2008 and up. And you have a lot more room in the car overall. Besides the tops, you know, I know the tops, people are afraid of the soft tops, but this top is actually the original top. It's actually in still good condition. I did a repair on the back window, which is glass, and just had to seal it up with adhesive, and it's holding very well for over a year and a half now. This, like, you just want to point out, if you have like thread repairs or seams are coming apart, which are not in this, you can use something like this. This is a polyester outdoor cord, and I picked this up from China Mart, Walmart. I think it was like, I don't know, $2. But you can see it's an exact match for this thread, and it's UV rated, so it'll last a long time. So if you don't have the money to blow on a, you know, spend on a top, which just the materials alone for a good one is about $600, and if you have it installed, probably about $1,200. You know, you just don't want to do it. I personally, I don't give a shit if I have the money or not. I mean, I just wouldn't do it if I don't have to. You just use this cord, and you can make a very good and solid repair on it, just like the original. So originally this glass was not quite sealing all the way. It was too far back, and so, you know, I made the adjustments on the window. And since I'm in a warm climate, I really didn't give a shit about it before, but I figured I'd fix it now. And just one thing I wanted to point out from the other clip, which will be attached with this, on this speaker cover, be careful with it because they break pretty easy. I mean, they're not super fragile, but they're plastic. And you got a straight pin clip here, one here, one here, one here, and one here. 4 of them all together, okay? And this comes out straight, and what you want to do is pry all around here very gently with a wide blade screwdriver or something like that, or something plastic even, you know. But, you know, a screwdriver will work fine as long as it's like a, you know, you're doing a little bit at a time, and pry this out careful because you can break these pretty easy. So regarding these cars though, you know, you got the 2001 and 2000 to what do you call it, 2000 to 6, which has the 2.7 in it. That engine has had a lot of problems with it, and I know it's been improved over the years. It's still not really that great. Sometimes they can last a really long time with maintenance, but this thing uses a 2.5 Mitsubishi engine, and I know some people don't like foreign, but Mitsubishi, one thing they do right is make good engines. And you can also put the long block in here, the 3.0, very easy. Basically, it's practically just a bolt in. There's very, very little things you have to, practically nothing. It's practically a straight bolt in. A 3.0 would fit in this, which would give this car, you know, quite a bit of jump in horsepower. But these cars from 1996 to 2000, they will definitely be collector's items because these are the ones that Chrysler made the best. And as from 1996 to 2000, the 2000 actually was the best. It had the most improvements, the most insulation, a beefed up transmission, which was getting ready for a higher horsepower engine. Not a very good transmission too, I don't think. But there's not much you need to do to these transmissions to make them handle quite a bit more horsepower than these cars will put out anyway, even though I don't consider an A604 a very good transmission. But you can still, it'll be far more than adequate with just a few modifications. But anyway, these cars, you know, I just want to point out a couple of tips to keep them up. And you know, like the tops, you know, people are afraid of the soft tops, and there's nothing to re-glue in these back windows and stuff. And you know, when they come out, you know, they say it's a big issue. If you clean it right, the glass right, you scratch up the glass right, use the right adhesive, it stays on there for many years and there's no problem with it. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.